Welcome to the second video in a series of 5 on linear regression, entering data into your calculator. This video will show you how to enter data into most Texas Instruments calculators. If you have a calculator that's not a Texas Instruments, or you find this video not particularly helpful, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos that you can YouTube that are probably better than this one, honestly, because calculator use is not my strength. But if it helps, great. If not, there's a million other resources out there for video too. Here's a generic Texas Instruments calculator. Let's say we're doing a problem and we want to see if there is some kind of connection, or what we'll call correlation, between a person's height in inches and their shoe size. Well, just looking at the table, there appears to be some kind of connection. Let's say we wanted to use a calculator to find out whether that was the case. The first thing we would need to do, of course, is enter the data in the calculator. So I'm going to guide you through a series of keystrokes, and I will at a couple points have you pause, since some of it might take a bit of time. Okay, so pause if you need to go find your calculator. Otherwise, here we go. After turning it on, the first thing you're going to want to do is hit the stat key. On most calculators, the stat key is somewhere around here. Stands for statistics, as you may have guessed. Option 1 should already be highlighted, and we want to edit our statistics, which is basically the same way we enter them. To choose option 1, hit the enter key, which is right here. And a screen showing list 1, list 2, and some other lists should appear, and you should see columns. Now we're ready to enter our data. Now remember, we're looking for a connection between a person's height and shoe size. The height, in this case, is in the first column, and in mathematics and on the Texas Instruments calculator, we call that X. And the shoe size is in the second column, or the Y column, and that's sort of the traditional name for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter all the data here into the list 1 and list 2. Hit pause, enter all this data, and when you're done, do not hit the clear button. The clear button does not do what you think it does. Okay, I'll pause while you pause while you enter that data, and then hit play when you're ready to proceed. Okay, presumably you've entered all the data into list 1 and list 2. And now, the reason I said not to hit clear, you should be staring at a screen with this data typed in. How do you get out of a screen in a Texas Instruments calculator? Well, the best way to get out of a screen, once you're done in that screen, is not to hit clear. Clear doesn't get you out of a screen. What gets you out of a screen is hitting quit. You'll have to hit your second key and then the mode key, which says quit above it. You'll notice they're both probably right here on your calculator. By hitting second mode or second quit, you're now back to the main calculation screen, and we're ready to do something with this data. So we've entered the data. You don't see it right now, but it's stored in your calculator. The next thing that we will want to do in videos 3, 4, and 5 is make use of that data. And the number one place we're going to go to make use of that data is, again, in the stat menu. So once again, hit the stat key. And if you hit the right arrow, you'll notice it brings you to a menu called Calc, which means calculate. We're telling the calculator that we want to do a calculation in the statistics menu. Now to choose Calc, once you've chosen Calc, I should say, hit the down arrow 3 times and bring yourself down to option 4, linreg ax plus b, which stands for linear regression. Once you're there, hit enter. And linear regression should now appear on your main calculation screen. You'll have to hit enter again to execute that command. Now, get ready for some good news or bad news. The good news would be if after hitting enter again, you got a linear regression display that showed r squared and r approximately these values. By the way, videos 3, 4, and 5 will go into depth about what all this means, but now we're just focusing on the screens and how to navigate. If those four values, a, b, r squared, and r, show up on your screen, you're good to go. There's nothing else for you in this video. The rest of this video is devoted to those people who get a value for a and b, but not a value for r squared and r. Again, later videos will tell you what those mean. But the point here is if you're missing r and r squared, you won't be able to do most of the statistics that we want to do with linear regression. So here's how you fix the problem. Hit second and then 0. You'll notice above the number 0 it says catalog. So you've now accessed the catalog. It is an alphabetical listing of everything this calculator does. You're going to have to hit the down arrow about 1,000 times, I'm being facetious of course, but continue to hit the down arrow, scrolling through the alphabet until you get to diagnostic on. You may want to pause the video while you find that. Once you get down to diagnostic on, hit enter to choose that. It will say done on your screen, and you've now turned on the diagnostic that will give us the r and r squared values in our linear regression command. At this point, go back and follow the same steps that led you to the wrong result in the first place. If you're still watching this video, I'm assuming you didn't get the r and r squared values the first time. So there's the same sequence of keystrokes again, and pressing those should now give you the r and r squared values you need for future videos. And that completes the second of 5 videos.